place at 1.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. We're back on the docket for the PM, and we're going to start with the first appearance persons. For those of you who are here for first appearance, please make sure you speak with your attorney before speaking on the record. Everything in this courtroom is being recorded and can be used against you at a later time. Well, we did have one reset from this morning, so I guess we should check.
My understanding is they do have Mr. Whitehead.
So is Michael Whitehead, he's at North Broward? Okay. All right, so Mr. Whitehead, these were 1 through 8 are new, oh no, they're all change of charges.
1,
No?
1 through 8 are change of charges, 9 through 11 are add charges.
Okay,
Your Honor, I can advise you.
yes,
At his original first appearance in mid-October,
yes,
Judge Rodriguez set the bond on the first 8 counts at $1,000 each.
okay,
I'm sorry, 1 moment, please. He set them, he set them all at 1,000 each except for count 3. He found probable cause for trespass, just to keep things in line. I don't have a problem with you setting 1,000 on 7 of the counts, and whichever one, to ROR, I'll leave it up to you, Judge. And on 9, 10, 11, I would be requesting a $1,000 bond on each of those in line with what Judge Rodriguez said.
all right. Well, has the information been filed in
Yes,
this case?
yeah, that's why we're here.
And it wasn't filed as a trespass, or was it?
It wasn't filed as a trespass. That being said, to keep it in line with what the bond Judge
Yeah.
Rodriguez said, that's why it was filed. We're all filed as burglary.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yeah,
make
of
sure.
course.
All right,
Now, I explained that to Mr. Whitehead as to why he is here this afternoon. I think he wanted to address the court,
okay,
but I advised Mr. Whitehead, and I'll advise you again, sir, do not talk about the facts of the case. If you want to talk to the judge, that's fine, but don't discuss the facts, okay?
all
Do you
right.
want to
So,
say something?
Hello.
Okay, all right. I know he can't afford those bonds, Judge, and I know that there's nothing the court can do really about counts 1 through 8. But he's not going to be able to post the bond on those 8 charges, let alone an additional $3,000. He indicated to me he doesn't have the financial wherewithal to do that.
all right, so Mr. Whitehead, just so you understand, 1 through 8, they've changed charges, and 1 and 2, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8 are attempted burglary of an unoccupied. Number 3, as they have it here, is burglary of an occupied, but my understanding is when you came to first appearance before, the judge had made a finding for trespassing, so what I'm gonna do at this time, is to ROR you on that count. But the other charges are going to remain with the $1,000 bond. So now you have additional charges now beyond the 8, and now you have 9, 10, and 11. Are those also attempt?
Yes.
It's just weird how they do it. They do burglary, but the description says attempted.
I-
All
not
right,
trying to
so
figure it out.
9, 10, and 11 are going to all be also attempted burglary. And I will just leave the $1,000 bond on each of those as well. Are there any other conditions from the original?
It's just a straight
Okay.
bond, I would say.
And do we know when, has he already been
Monday.
arraigned?
He'll be arraigned on Monday.
Oh, so you'll be before your division judge on Monday on these charges, okay? All right. Latoria Hudson, This one is a medical reset. And Robert Chapel.
Please approach the judge's hearing. Municipal ordinance, Judge.
All right, Mr. Chapel, you have two municipal ordinance violations. A capias was issued October 7th because you didn't show up for your arraignment. The charges there are possession of drug paraphernalia and alcoholic beverage violation. Mr. Chapel, do you want to resolve your case today?
Yes, ma'am, no contest, please.
All right, so I'll sentence you to time served. Please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Chapel, you can put your hand down. And, sir, do you understand the offer that has been extended to resolve your case?
Yes.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, I'm not.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
You understand that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No, ma'am.
And do you understand, sir, that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, ma'am.
What plea do you wish to enter, sir? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. Your sentence, sir, is adjudication, time served. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. Raul Jimenez.
Please approach the judge's hearing. Come on up, sir.
All right, Mr. Jimenez is before the court on one charge of resisting officer without violence. I find probable cause.
Judge, being Mr. Jimenez, he wishes to resolve this matter today.
Okay.
Offered be withhold court costs. I don't see any Broward priors, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Jimenez, you understand the offer that has been extended to you?
Yes.
And you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
All right, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, sir, you can put your hand down. And is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No.
You understand that you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right.
I understand, yes.
Have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
No.
And do you understand, sir, that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes.
What plea do you wish to enter at this time? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
All right, I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. And your sentence is withhold adjudication, court costs. Good luck. Gabriel Williams.
Please approach the judge. Is your name?
Okay, Mr. Williams, you have a traffic KPS. Says you didn't show up for a hearing September 12th, and the charge is driving while license suspended. What does Mr. Williams want to do?
Judge, he informed the mother of his child is going to be posting his bond.
All right, so he has a $500 bond. Michael Liberati.
He bonded, Judge.
Mr. Liberati bonded. I find probable cause. Clifford Branch.
He bonded, Judge.
All right, Mr. Branch bonded. I find probable cause.
Mr. Krista? Mr. Christo, Brandon. Brandon.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Christo, is before the court on one charge of possession of heroin, and, charge number 2 is possession of drug paraphernalia, and I find probable cause.
Judge, nothing to this time. I'm gonna be contacting Mr. Christo's friend to post his monetary bond.
All right, so standard bond will remain. Stephen Meikle,
He bonded, Judge.
Mr. Meikle bonded. I find probable cause. All right, and so on our hearing docket, misdemeanor,
Well, Your Honor, could we have one moment, please?
What was
Before
that?
we move on, I'm just asking Ivy to check to show in her system if he posted bond on me.
oh,
I'm sorry. Okay.
okay. All right, William Swackard,
Mr. Swacker, come on up, please. He's approaching, Judge.
all right, is there something else holding Mr. Swackard in custody?
Yes, he has a felony.
He
He's
has a-
actually on both dockets.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
He
Oh,
has a $1,000 bond on a felony offense, Judge, and on the municipal ordinance, he has a $25 bond.
oh. Well, I was looking at the municipal ordinance, that's why I asked if there was something else holding him in custody. What's going on with Mr. Swackard?
Judge, my understanding is, he wasn't able to get in touch with anyone. He's homeless. He gets only disability, but he's been here his whole entire life. He's asking if the court would consider releasing him on pretrial release.
Listed on the capias May this year on a municipal ordinance. And from what I can see so far, his last 2 arrests prior to that, while dated, they were 2011. Each was for a violation of his release conditions. Violation of parole and a late.
All right. Mr. Swackard, do you have family members around town?
My peoples are dead.
You are the only one left of your entire family?
The rest of me are in Georgia.
Oh. All right, I'll release Mr. Swackard to pretrial supervision. And Mr. Swackard, on Monday morning, you need to go to that office and sign up. If you don't go to sign up, sir, a warrant is going to be issued for your arrest and you'll be back here, again. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Yes, for both.
The only other thing I'd ask that Hector, the
Yeah.
only other thing I'd ask that he be advised, Your Honor, since he's not gonna be getting court notice from the clerk's office, is that it's his responsibility, through whatever means he's able, to find out when his court dates are.
All right, so Mr. Swackard, you're gonna be on pretrial, so if you sign up, you know that you can always call the pretrial office to know if and when you have to come back to court. Or you make sure that you stay in touch with your attorney so that you'll know when you have to come back to court.
Okay.
All right, sir. All
Our
right.
Spanish interpreters here, Judge.
Who needed the Spanish interpreter?
I believe it's Mr. De Jesus in Conti.
All right, so he's the next person on our docket.
He is the next person on the docket.
Alexan de Jesus Hernandez.
San de Jesús Hernández.
Mr. Hernandez was arrested October
El
10th.
señor Hernández fue arrestado el 10 de octubre.
You know, my notes say delete from the docket.
Mis apuntes dicen que hay que eliminarlo
Do
de
we know
la,
why?
del legajo.
I'm not asking you, sir. I'm
No le estoy
asking,
preguntando a usted, señor.
Intérprete, la corte, he's sentence.
Your Honor, just if I may, well, it's unusual on the part of the interpreter, I interpreted for him just a couple of hours ago before Judge Levy, and she ordered his release.
oh, so maybe that's why it's got to delete from the docket.
Yeah.
All right, so then he's, based on whatever the
Bien,
Judge
entonces,
Levy
eh,
ordered,
Dado lo que ordenó la jueza Levy,
he'll follow those orders,
acatará esas órdenes.
which I believe he was ROR.
Creo que fue liberado bajo palabra, ¿correcto?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay.
Muy bien.
All right, good luck, sir.
Buena suerte, señor.
Is there anyone else who needed the Spanish interpreter? All right,
Not that I've been advised, Your Honor.
all right, thank you. You served good,
Have a good weekend,
two
man.
purposes today. All right, Tony Baker.
He's a person, Judge. Man.
All right, Mr. Baker was arrested November 11th. So this is a second look at his bond status.
He raised his bond to $500, Your Honor.
Oh, I have it. All right, so,
Judge, Baker's here, he can't afford the $500 bond, he's asking to release ROR on this misdemeanor offense.
all right, I've reviewed the probable cause affidavit, and the concerns I had earlier this week, I still have those concerns. Those are the same concerns that caused me to raise his bond to $500, so I'm gonna leave that in place at this time. All right,
So Judge, Mr. Baker wishes to address the court, I advise him not to speak.
okay,
Why did my bond go from 100 to a $500 bond?
because based on the allegations, I made that determination.
I mean, I don't understand. All it is a false ID given to a Leo. I mean, like, they had no probable cause for even arresting me.
Okay,
That has nothing to
Just,
do with why
Your
they,
Honor.
I don't even know why they arrested me.
Your Honor,
Like,
just,
what's going on?
all right, sir, we're done, okay? Brandon Hunt?
Mr. Hunt, come on up.
Excuse me, can I get a pre-trial release?
No, sir.
So I can get pre-
Mr. Hunt was arrested November 12th. And how much bond does Mr. Hunt?
Your Honor raised his bond to, I believe, $3,500. It's on the DUI property damage with,
With pretrial and a TAD monitor.
CAD monitor. He has, in the past few weeks, he's already been arrested for a DUI. Then he got arrested for a battery where Your Honor revoked his pretrial. Set the bonds at $1,000 on each of them, and those bonds have actually been surrendered since his arrest.
Okay,
He's actually on our regular docket, Judge, on counts 4 and 5, indicating that there's no paperwork.
Well, bond surrenders don't come through here anyway.
Right. But that's what
That's why it's
Conti
no
advised me.
paperwork, because bond surrenders don't, there's no reason to,
okay.
nothing to get into.
All right, no changes today. I'll leave the bonds in place. All right. Samuel Paul on the felony docket.
Paul Ryan, Your Honor.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul was arrested on October 13th. Is this a 30-day motion? Has
Yes,
has
yes.
the,
Do Your Honor, I'm just, if we could have one moment.
Your Honor, if we have a moment, I'll address the court.
Your Honor.
Hang on
he's
one
not-
second, Samuel.
We've declined this charge. He's no longer being held on it. He is being held on 2 other cases where his bonds were revoked, I believe.
Due to this charge.
Okay.
All right.
All right, hold on a moment. So
Yes,
the aggravated battery, that charge has been
And
declined?
it's already been updated in the
So
system.
there's nothing for, so you are RO'd on that charge, sir?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All right, I spoke to Mr. Catrone's office. I believe you're set for court on Monday, Samuel, and Mr. Catrone will meet you there.
I know, but, my address the judge?
You may. Don't discuss the facts of any cases, though.
No, ma'am. When I first came on the 13th, ma'am, you was about to ROR on the charge, and you were finna give me back my set bonds on the other charge. My family was actually here. We just lost my stepfather last week, and that's why we was trying to get him before the public defender, before me to get out on the 16th, which is tomorrow. But unfortunately, the court date got set on the for Monday. But my mom was here and all, but she had to go back to the funeral home to make the rest of the arrangement for tomorrow evening. Ms. Patron was trying to step in. What I'm asking, ma'am, is what you was considering on the 13th, would you allow me to have those bonds that you was finna set on the other cases? Because you was giving me a bond and the state said something, and you said you was gonna let it how it was transpired. And now it's being thrown
Well,
out.
Mr. Paul, here's the problem. The case that's before me today is the case that I can handle. I don't have any other matters before me pertaining to you today. On the case that's before me today, you are entitled to an ROR. I'll sign that order. Whatever other issues you have to go to your division judge. You have to speak to your attorney, and they have to have that hearing before your division judge, because I am not your division judge.
And just so the court's aware, Mr. Catrone has already filed that motion seeking that relief in front of Judge Scheer, and that's what's scheduled for Monday.
Okay, all right, so that's a felony matter. You're before Judge Scheer, and your attorney will have to go before your judge on that matter, okay?
Yes, ma'am. You have a blessed evening.
All right, you too.
All right.
Hector Chevalier?
Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Chevalier was arrested October 14th.
And, Your Honor, the state did file an information today. We filed a burg dwelling and we charged 1 count of theft.
All right, so Mr. Chevalier, the information has been filed, and as you heard, there's also an additional misdemeanor charge. So at this time, you will have to go before your division judge for further relief. So, everything will remain in place at this time. Does he have to, does he have to come for the ad charge through first appearance?
I don't think he'll have to.
Is there's a standard
You
bond
know
that's
what?
already?
He may have to, because I think the burglary is gonna be treated as a technical change of charge.
Okay. All right,
I guess we'll find out.
yes, sir.
Thank you. They said that they added me another charge.
Yes, they're adding it, they've filed the information and added a misdemeanor charge.
So I do apologize, Your Honor, with all due respect, but I don't understand. So I have 1 charge or 2 charges, please?
You have 2 charges. You have a felony charge and a misdemeanor charge.
And the misdemeanor is what, please?
What is the misdemeanor?
Petty theft.
Petty theft.
What petty theft, please?
All right, sir. I don't know. So
Okay.
when you go before your division judge, they'll discuss that further with you.
You're right, I understand. I wanna, so, with all due respect, I know you have the authority, because, I would like to, if you can do, and listen with all due respect, and dismiss the charger, both chargers, because we were living together 1 year. My ex-girlfriend.
Don't
and I-
discuss the facts of the case, Mr. Chevalier.
Just so Your Honor's aware,
Yes.
the reason he's being held right now, and if pretrial confirm this, they haven't been able to verify an address. He was ROR'd pretrial GPS, I believe at his original first appearance.
I got, may I please?
All right, sir.
They gave me, no, if I may I speak, please? Thank you so much. Yeah, they gave me the free trial, but the mother, I asked for a address, but, the mother, I didn't have the address, because I used to live with my ex-girlfriend, because we moved together in the house. So
All right,
we don't-
Mr. Chevalier, I'm going to tell you that you probably need to speak to your attorney. You are going to be in court soon, so when you go before your division judge, whatever issues you have with your address or whatever, please speak with your attorney about that, okay? Corey Humphrey.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Humphrey was arrested October 14th. So this is a 30-day motion for Mr. Humphrey?
One moment, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, the state filed, we declined the burglary dwelling, so whatever bond was set on that will come off.
Okay,
The second count, we did a change of charge to corruption by threat
okay,
and filed a resistance without violence.
all right. So has he, I don't remember Mr. Humphrey, has he been, does he have to come back for the change of charge at least? All right, so
I'm hoping
Mr.
he won't have to, but
I know. All right, so Mr. Humphrey, just so you know, when you came before the court before, you had a burglary, unoccupied dwelling, and then there was a harm to public servants, and then a resisting, was that resisting with?
without.
Without violence? So the state has declined to file the charge number 1. So whatever bond that you have on that has now been deleted, and so now you only have charges 2 and 3, which is corruption by threat and resisting without violence. Okay,
At some point today, once the jail gets the paperwork, his bond will be reduced by $5,000, and it was also a bond plus pretrial.
all right.
No, but no GPS.
So you'll be before your division judge also shortly for arraignment, okay? All right, Samuel Randall is next. Mr. Randall was arrested November 11th, and Mr. Randall has a $1,000 bond on a retail theft.
Judge, that is correct. He's homeless. He's been here his whole entire life. Right now, he's not working. I know there's no one he can contact to post his monetary bond, so that's why he's asking to be released on pretrial release.
Charge was declined. He was arrested.
Which one has been declined?
The case I'm about to advise, nothing on these charges.
Okay,
He was arrested September 24th on a grand theft auto, and within a couple days, he posted and was released on a $5,000 bond.
so he posted a $5,000 bond?
Someone did it on his
So,
behalf.
okay,
One moment. First Broward Priors, 2017. Dealing in stolen property, grand theft, false ownership info, and a pawn item. On June 18th of 2018, he was sentenced to a year and a day state prison.
Judge, my understanding, Mr. Randall advised me it was a friend of his that since, I believe, moved to Gainesville. And even if he could get in touch with him for what Mr. Randall was saying, he can't afford to post any more bond. So right now, he's still here in custody.
This was a theft that involved almost $2,000. He was recognized by a sergeant from a previous retail theft. Be on the lookout.
saw that. It does look like there's a bolo out for a black male and a black female, and I believe further on it says that the black female is his sister, Shanika Gordon. to find the other person that was with him. I'm going to deny the ROR at this time.
Just one other quick, I know, Mr. Randall was actually apprehended at the bus stop. He didn't run. I believe the other, individuals ran, and it was Mr. Randall who actually cooperated with law enforcement and told, that the female was his sister and gave the name of his sister, so, he cooperated with law enforcement, Judge, and he didn't run, so I'm asking if the court would take that into account and release him under supervision.
Actually, it says that they were trying to hide between parked vehicles.
And then was at a bus stop at the end, if you keep on reading.
All right, guys, I've made a ruling, I'm denying the ROR at this time. Okay. All right, Edward Harding.
He's here.
And Mr. Harding was arrested November 11th.
I'm showing, Your Honor, two pending felonies in addition to this case, a filed grand theft and a filed burglary, conveyance, grand theft, and trespass.
So he has what, I'm sorry, he's all there?
He's got a pending grand theft that's been filed and a pending burglary, conveyance, grand theft, and trespass that has also been filed.
This will be his third pending charge.
Felony, yes, ma'am.
All right, I'll deny the ROR at this time. All right, you know my docket, I'm missing pages, but I guess the next person is Michael Wesley. I don't. Nope, I have 3 pages.
Mr. Michael Wesley is here, Judge.
All right.
Michelle. Oh, Michelle, yeah, sorry.
Who is that? Oh, Wesley Michaud. All right, when, do you have that page number 4 on yours? If I can look. All right. All right, so Mr. Michaud was arrested November 12th. And how much bond does he have?
He set his bond at $2,500 on each of the burglary charges. This was the case where he went to 3 different, or at least 2 locations in the same area, Aruba Beach Cafe, 101 Oceans Restaurant, stealing kegs out of the restaurant.
What, all right?
One
Judge, my understanding also in reviewing the PC affidavit, my understanding is he had encountered law enforcement, and I believe he advised them exactly what he was doing. He was, I believe, he used the term dumpster diving, picking up empty kegs. But bottom line, Judge, he's not going to be able to afford to post a bond. He's 32 years old. He was working as a cook. He got let go, and now he's looking for work. But right now, he was previously living in Lantana, but right now he's basically homeless. He has no one to help post his bond, so he's asking if the court would reconsider release him on pre-trial release.
He did not say he was going dumpster diving looking for kegs. He said he was looking for empty buckets.
Yeah, buckets.
Okay, bucket.
A keg's not a bucket. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's in the probable cause affidavit?
Yes,
I don't have it, can I see?
I can print it out for you, Judge. Or actually, Ivy, do you have it?
Thank you. Well, in the meantime, what kind of priors does he have?
Yes, one moment. Yeah, but there might be elsewhere. I know, we got it. I'm looking.
dumpster diving. You go into the fenced-in exterior storage area, not open to the public, and only accessible via the rear alleyway. Whereas does Mr. Mashad have?
While I'm looking, Your Honor, while I know Mr. Mashad told law enforcement he was just dumpster diving, I seriously doubt that these two businesses were putting those kegs in their dumpsters, considering the value that they have. Non-expiring injunction, order of protection was issued against him in Palm Beach County in 2018. See, keep it. Look at he has 33 hits on CCIS. I'm saying outside of that. Oh, outside. Okay. Battery, 2018 in Palm Beach. Possession of marijuana, 2015 in Palm Beach. Loitering trial in 2008 in Palm Beach. Okay, trespassing, 2019 in Osceola County. Those are the cases he resolved.
Date is that trespass in Osceola?
One moment. Looks like it occurred in February and got pled out in June.
Mr. Mashad has no permanent address, is that correct? You represented he's homeless?
Yeah, I'm staying in my car right now. I don't have any previous address.
All right, I'm gonna grant the request for RO, to pre-trial. And Mr. Mashad needs to report to the pre-trial office, if not today, by Monday morning. And if you don't report, a warrant will be issued for your arrest. And also, no return to this location. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would again ask that he be advised.
And Mr. Mashad, you need to make sure that, one, you stay in touch with pre-trial so you know when you have to come back to court, or contact your attorney, or go online somewhere and check the clerk's records so that you know when you have to come back to court. Because if you have no address, no one can mail anything to you. All right. John Nanali. All right, Mr. Nanali was arrested on November 11th. And he has, how much bond is Mr.? 750, 500, 750.
Judge Misignoli has an address. I did ask for a regular pretrial, it was denied. He's applying for disability, he lives with his mom, who's elderly, that he takes care of, so we're asking if the court's not comfortable with a regular pretrial, we're asking the court to consider level 2.
My concerns with Mr. Nonali is that, yes,
I remember. One of these incidents was at Sawgrass Mills, correct?
yes.
Yeah, he was just picked up for a trespass October 29th at Sawgrass Mills.
Well,
Disorder.
that's what I was gonna say. This says, based off recent shoplifting incident and a recent trespass warning, I was familiar with this individual. So that's how the law enforcement started off. And then, so he was previously trespassed, he was back, and he was taking items off of the mannequins at the guest factory.
Yeah, Your Honor actually ordered him not to return to Sawgrass Mills.
So I'm gonna leave these bonds in place and deny any ROR at this time. All right, that's the end of our dockets, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
We have North Broward, Your Honor.
You have who?
Thought it was.
Vernick, Natalia Vernick.
What docket is she on?
Thought we had her this morning. But didn't we have her this morning?
No, she wasn't this morning. She was a couple of days ago, actually.
I must be confusing her with someone else.
I don't have her on any of the dockets that I have. So what is she, when was she arrested? And how much bond does she have?
It's a total bond of $2,625. Possession of cocaine, DUI, resisting without violence, introduction of contraband into detention facility, and failure to obey a law enforcement officer.
Does anybody have her PC, since I don't?
Ivy, do you have it?
Thank you.
How does she spell her last name, Rick?
Oh, this was, as, there was an accident with a head-on collision with a motorcyclist. And then, she wouldn't get out of the car. All right, at this time, I'll leave the bonds in place and deny any change at this time. All right, is there anyone else? All right,
What does it mean? I'm staying here?
you still have your bonds, ma'am.
What do you mean, I can pay my bond by myself?
Right, so you still have your bonds.
If who can explain it to me?
Who can explain what to you?
They took all my property.
Judge Powell, I've already explained that to her, and she,
Oh, that was the same thing, that's okay, Deputy, it was the exact same scenario that was described in the probable cause affidavit, so I understand, right. All right, so she understands, you have a bond, and you can post your bond, I'm not changing the bond requirements at this time. All right? Okay, thank you, everyone.